Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Westgarth Realty audio experience. Ladies and gentlemen, Seb Westgarth here from Westgarth Realty, and welcome back to the podcast. On today's episode, I wanted to talk about seller motivation. During an appraisal meeting, it can be very noticeable sometimes that sellers don't like to disclose their motivation for selling. Sometimes it's due to financial reasons, and some sellers are actually embarrassed to tell their agent that this is why they are selling. This is obviously very understandable, but what I can say is that there are more sellers out there than you would actually think who sell due to financial reasons. The problem that can be faced by not disclosing your motivation to sell is your agent won't be able to put forward the best advice possible for you to achieve an outcome that will work in your favor. It's important to remember that unless you give an agent permission to give buyers the reasons why you're selling, then an agent shouldn't be sharing those reasons. A stock standard line that I like to use is that the property no longer suits the needs of a seller, and this covers a multitude of reasons. I've spoken in previous podcasts about the importance of the first 4 weeks of marketing a home for sale. The first 4 weeks on the market is when the property will see most buyer activity. This is a property's peak period for finding the best buyer who will typically spend the most amount of money due to increased buyer competition. What I typically see is when sellers who are not completely upfront with their motivation to sell is that they actually cause more harm to their ability of achieving a top price than not. I have an example of a property that I've marketed in the past where the sellers had stated they weren't in a rush to sell and therefore weren't interested in marketing the property as effectively as they possibly could have. They had a dollar figure that they wanted to achieve and which we attempted to get for them. The problem that these particular sellers faced was when presented with information about what potential buyers had said about the home and the offers they had put forward was that they weren't close enough to their top dollar. We negotiated hard with these offers that we obtained in week 2 of the marketing process, and those buyers then decided that they weren't willing to come up close enough to that top dollar. We continued to market the home for a further 3 months, at which point the offers started to dwindle, and so did open home and inspection turnouts, as the peak marketing period had come and gone. After a while, the owners decided to go back and negotiate closer to those original offers. Unfortunately, most of those buyers had decided to purchase other properties, and the ones who hadn't decided that they felt that the original value they placed on the home was too high and actually reduced their offer even further. As things unfolded, it became apparent that the need to sell had become more urgent due to the growing financial strain. Unfortunately, the buyer interest had almost completely dried up, and the original offers that were actually put forward were reduced by 15 to 20 grand, which put the sellers in a very undesirable position. The same thing can happen with sellers who just want to test the market, and they make it very clear they have no intentions to spend money on a structured marketing package and will only accept a price that is deemed as unachievable in the current market conditions. Typically, the home will then be taken off the market and brought back on further down the track. However, buyers remember that the property was advertised at a price previously. They remember, and therefore their mentality changes towards that property. If you are selling to simply offload some assets or you have an urgent need to sell, for whatever the reason, it always pays to be upfront with an agent. An agent will be able to devise a plan that will maximize your return within your current constraints and minimize the buyer's ability to dictate the end sale price.